Alright guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. Before we get into it, I want to make sure that I'm giving you this announcement. We're going to be doing a full-on holiday sale for a limited time, 50% off all of my programs and my courses from my mentorship course. So make sure you take advantage of it. Click the link in the description to find out more details. Happy holidays. Now let's get into the video. Alright guys, what's going on? Phil Daru back again with another video. Now today I want to give you a couple of trunk and core exercises to enhance boxing and any type of striking ability. Now with this one is going to be more for isometric contraction and anti-flexion, anti-rotation, but we're also going to throw in some flexion type movements to enhance rectus abdominal, transverse abdominal, anterior and exterior oblique strength and overall hypertrophy, right? Because the goal is to actually increase muscle size, but also increase the tension there so that it can produce force. So what we're gonna be utilizing is two forms of an exercise to increase that ability to maintain stability, and then from there, get those muscles strong so that it can increase that power production inside your strikes. All right, let's get into it. All right guys, so for the first exercise, we're gonna utilize a suitcase carry with a side bend. And why we're doing this is we're gonna make sure that we're increasing force coupling, basically meaning we're gonna take synergistic muscles or muscles that are working together synergistically to increase movement quality. So for this, I'm gonna go ahead and take a kettlebell. I'm gonna put it on the side of my body. I'm gonna make sure I'm nice and aligned, making sure that I'm not leaning to one side. Again, we're gonna get that anti-flexion component there, and then we're gonna walk. And as we walk, we're gonna stop, stabilize, and then go into that side flexion so that we can enhance the strength in the exterior and anterior obliques. So here we go. Take the kettlebell, locked in, core tight. As I go to walk, 1, 2, I'm gonna hold, pause, make sure I maintain a neutral spine. From there, I'm gonna irradiate, drive to the side, and then back up. Using those obliques there, step, step, hold position, in a split stance with my heel off the ground, maintaining core control, squeezing my glutes, squeezing my adductors, and then I'm gonna drive through and then extend up again. 1, 2, hold position, grab the ground, make sure you're rooted into the floor, get to the flexion, and then back up. 1, 2, hold position, grab the ground, external torque, drive through, up, boom. Okay, so the one thing you don't wanna do is make sure that you're not rounded here in the low back as you go into that flexion. You want to make sure you're nice and long, lock the lats down, get into the flexion, and then come back up. All right. Make sure you're keeping a neutral spine in general, and then also make sure that your lats are engaged and you're keeping tight irradiation. So again, we're squeezing that kettlebell as tight as we can on that far side, on the side that we're holding the kettlebell. And then also you're making sure that your body is nice and stable as you go to step, grabbing the ground, creating that torque so that you have a good foundation of movement and overall stability there when you go to do that movement. Again, you don't want to be off balance, you don't want to lose your footing. So if you want to start, you can do this from a baseline perspective by just doing the suitcase carry, and then you can add in the flexion, the side flexion going further once you get accustomed to being strong in just that isometric or that anti-flexion state. All right, so that was one. Let's go to the next one. All right, guys, so for the next one, we're going to go into another anti-flexion, anti-rotation type of movement. We're going to take the ab roller here, but it's going to be a little bit more advanced, right? We're not going to just simply roll out and roll in. I wouldn't do that for you guys because obviously everybody knows that. So what we're going to do now is a variation that I've seen, that I've done in the past and that I've utilized for my athletes to basically get their body to coordinate together, working on that contralateral movement where we're working in that same motion. So we're going to take a bear crawl and an ab roller, and we're going to do it combined. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up with a neutral spine, get in a tabletop position, and as I go to step, I'm taking little steps, but I'm maintaining hip position, and I'm maintaining a neutral spine. I don't want my hips to shift side to side. I'm maintaining that anti-rotation, anti-flexion, all right? And then also I'm working the muscles of the rectus abdominals. I'm also working on the obliques too as well. So you're going to take the roller. We're going to get into that tabletop position here. Now I want my hands, depending on how intense you want it, the further you go outside of the body, the midline of the body, the harder it's going to be. You're stronger in the closer into the midline of the body, proximal to the core or the trunk itself. All right. As you go to let off, now the abs are going to have to work a little bit more intensely as you go to let off on that chain, right? So again, if you increase the moment arm, it's gonna be a stronger contraction there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up about where my hands are right over my shoulders here, and then my head is long, I'm nice and neutral, my knees are off the ground, and then I'm going to step, small little steps, maintaining posture, keep my abs on. Okay, if you do it right, 10 yards is plenty. And then obviously you can increase it from there, but the goal really is to maintain that lower abdominal tightness, the rectus abdominals. The obliques are gonna be on too as well. The goal is to make sure that you don't collapse here. So we have to drive into that flexion and maintain that flexion in that neutral position of the spine. So a lot of abs are being turned on here. Again, we want to make them strong so that they can produce more force in a dynamic fashion. So first and foremost, we have to make sure that isometrically contracted is strong there and stabilize the body to enhance force production, okay? Now there's other ways to go ahead and work on this, especially when you're talking about core strength. But for this, it's a good way to start from a baseline to gather up the strength needed in the muscles there from a compound perspective, from a global perspective, working on the entire midsection. All right guys, so there you have it. Those are my 2 exercises that you can utilize to help increase your core and trunk strength for the sport of boxing, MMA, combat sports in general, but also it can transfer over into any other sport. Okay, these are more of the general movements and general exercises that can enhance strength qualities for all different types of sports. But again, specifically for my combat sport athletes, for my boxers, for my MMA guys, and my judo guys and girls, this is very important for them to do because again, it all starts with the foundation, making sure that you have a strong proximal trunk and quote unquote core. That's going to enhance the other abilities from the outside. So again, we want to increase proximal stability to enhance distal mobility. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, make sure you hit the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification, hit the like button for the algorithms, and I'll see you again next time. Peace.